Welcome to Sugar and Silk Podcast, brought to you by Ace Podcast Nation. Unfortunately, there's no sugar in your coffee this week. You're only going to get silk, but that's good for your diet. And Ben will be back next week, so don't worry about that. All right. Let's welcome to the ring former WBC super featherweight champion of the world, Jesse James Leija. I'm so honored to have you here, brother. Thank you for
Michael,
coming
thank you
in.
so much. Thank you so much.
How you feeling?
I feel great, man. Uh, I'm always working. I'm always moving. I'm always doing things. My sons and I have a boxing fitness gym here in San Antonio,
Sweet. What's
which
the
we
name?
the Leija Boxing and Fitness.
Okay.
And I had another one, another gym called
Yeah.
Champion Fit Gym, and I had that for 17 years. And
Yeah.
then 2.5 years ago, we moved to a bigger during COVID. We said we need to get a bigger space for more room and space. So we got to a bigger gym, paid more money, took a chance, and it blew up like crazy.
No, for real. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna start franchising these in
I
it's
you
in
know
San Antonio.
that's a thing that I would love to do, but I don't know. We're in the middle right now of expanding here in San Antonio. We've had three other gyms before, and we closed them all down to make this one big one.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that we're thinking about is expanding, but I mean franchising them out. But then I got to make sure these people are running because they're not to give me a bad name.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
have a good name here in San
Yeah.
Antonio, and I don't know. It's one of those things, but that's something that we may want to do is franchise out all over
Yeah.
the United States or Texas,
Yeah.
and then go from there.
Yeah. You really have to have somebody speaking from experience a
Yeah,
little bit here.
yeah,
but what you really want to do, as you I'm sure you know, is you want to make sure you have somebody that knows how to roll gyms out because there is a strategy to it.
yeah, yeah,
And boy, if you don't do it right, they murder you. And I mean, you know what it's about. It's a
yeah,
lot of investment. There's a lot of organization,
yeah,
and you need to trust some people.
yeah.
And that's the hardest thing, right? Isn't it
Sounds
hard
like,
to get?
sounds like the fight game, isn't it? Exactly.
It's exactly
Yeah,
it's exactly boxing. I don't know one fighter. I don't know. I don't know. I've never come across a fighter that said that everything's been like hunky dory for them on the opposite side of the fight. Like they're better off. They feel more comfortable in the fight than they like dealing with managers and promoters and stuff like that.
of course. It's because you shake your hand, you put it back, and make sure you have your fingers attached because they're trying to take everything from you, and you don't know who to trust. It's tough. I was lucky. I
Yeah,
was lucky that I had a manager for 17 and a half years. He was my manager from day one.
yeah,
And I was so lucky that he was so honest and he did every. We're still great friends
yeah,
today, and he promoted a lot of fights for everyone, for Don King, for main events, top rank, everybody, and he was my manager, and so I
yeah.
was able to get in all these fights too. So
Wow.
he was just so honest,
Yeah.
which is they said that was a bad thing about him that he was too honest. He
And,
was in the wrong sport.
yeah, he probably ended up broke instead of the fighter, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's fair play because every single other fighter, man, you don't end up too well at all. Well, let me ask you. I want to talk about your career, but let me ask you first about your life right now. You have children.
I have two boys, James
Two.
and Dean. Uh, James is 31, Dean is 27.
Beautiful. All
Yeah.
right. And they never went into fighting.
My oldest turned pro,
Mhm.
and he was 3-0 as a professional. He
Yeah.
had like 5 fights fall through, and he
Wow.
said, "Oh man, this ain't gonna cut it."
Yeah.
This is what I signed up for.
Yeah.
He's a partner in our gym now. So
Yeah.
everything we do, my sons and I are partners. My
That's great.
youngest Dean
Yeah.
is really, if he turned pro,
Mhm.
without a doubt, he wins titles. He's
Wow.
that good. He
Yeah.
he's tall. He's 5'11". He could be
Nice.
147, 165. He's in
Mhm.
between. He's so hard to hit. He reminds me of. I was sparring with him like I don't know. I'm old, right? I'm 57, but I was sparring with him. He said, "Come on, Dad, spar. Hit me as much as you want." Or I couldn't touch the guy, and I was trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was like, he does that Floyd Mayweather thing.
Yeah. 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 With the shoulder.
I'm like, and I was trying, like, I would hit him every once in a while to the body because I couldn't hit his head.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, have I lost that much? Am I that old? Or is he that good? Maybe both. But he is really, my son Dean is, both of my boys are real athletic, but
Mhm.
Dean just has that special thing where everything's easy for him. But
Yeah.
either way, he doesn't box. He trains clients.
Yeah.
Both my boys do the same thing I'm doing
Yeah.
right now. So it's a good family
It's
thing.
great. Yeah, it's a
Not only
great
that,
family.
and I'm sorry, Michael, let me interrupt. Not only that, we my name is so good here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
In my childhood coming up, I've always done the right thing.
Yeah.
Always, I have a big charity. I've had the longest running golf tournament here in San Antonio. But
Nice.
we trained the San Antonio Spurs for the last 19 years. We trained the whole team. We trained everybody. Matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, I mean, no, last Thursday, this past Thursday, training Wimby. You know who Wimby is?
I don't, but I know it's going to be big.
He's a guy from Europe, the number one draft pick in
Oh, yes,
basketball.
yes, yes. I
Victor
heard my son
Wembanyama,
was talking about him.
Wembanyama,
That's right.
Victor
Yes.
Wembanyama. Yeah, I was training him Thursday. He never boxed before. This guy picked it up like that.
Really? Yeah.
He's 7'5".
Yeah.
I'm 5'5", and I had my hand straight up, and I
I
was
was going
just
to
eye
say.
level to him, straight up. And he's doing this like this. It looks so funny. If you follow my Instagram or Facebook, you'll see my picture with him, and I
I'm
put
gonna
a
see
picture of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with Bruce Lee, the same height.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I remember that. I still remember the term timber too. That's I
Yeah.
know. I know when it comes to boxing, it's a different beast. But
Yeah.
that's insane. I'd heard about you working with the San Antonio Spurs, and that's been for a while now, right? You've had a
19
good.
years now. 18, 19 years now.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Tim
How was
Duncan.
the transition from fighting into fitness? Like, what kind of pushed you that way? Did you have other options?
No.
No.
Well, I did kind of because after I retired in 2005, I was thought, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
I went through depression a little bit. I was sad. It's because I started boxing when I was 16 years old, 15 years old when I first started boxing.
Which is actually late.
Yeah, very late. Yeah. I
Late.
started 16 years old. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I boxed one fight when I was 16 years old. Then I didn't box again.
Wow.
When I was 18 years old, I got in trouble with the law. I got in trouble with the law. I was doing dumb stuff, right? I got in trouble.
Yeah.
Went to jail for 26 hours. Okay. While I was in jail,
Yeah.
I'm in jail and I'm like, man, this isn't me, man. I have great parents. I
Yeah.
have a great girlfriend. I have
Yeah.
have a nice car. I have all this. So what am I had a good job? What am I doing? Doing dumb stuff, drinking and driving. I said, I'm in jail. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so ashamed of. I can't face my parents right now because my parents are still good to me, right?
Yes.
And I said, I got to make a change. I
Yeah.
got to make a change. Well, I'm in jail. I said, I'm either going to become a firefighter or a police officer. I said, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go to school, get my grades up,
Yeah.
do what I can.
Yeah.
I got to get fit first.
Yeah.
First of all, my dad was a former fighter himself, a professional boxer.
Okay.
But he didn't want us to box because it's the fight game, right?
Yeah.
You steer away from that. Or if you love somebody, don't let him do it. And he didn't let us box, so we never boxed. But when we played around, messed around the house, but we never boxed. So when I was 18, I said, I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to go to the gym, get in great shape, and then join the police academy or fire academy, whatever I got to do to get better.
Yeah.
2.5 years later, I'm in the Olympic trials.
That's great. First of all, to start at 16 years of age, and to only have like 2 years experience, fight experience. Yeah. How many fights? 20 something, 27?
34 fights in my amateur career. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's insane. And the
All
amateurs.
All in 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. The amateurs in those days, dudes are packing like at minimum, there are 100 fights, these guys that are going to the nationals.
Yeah.
And going, international travel and stuff like that. You at least have 100 fights. That must have been really hard to like your work ethic got you there. What was it? I mean, obviously you were talented, but
it was more desire than skill, more desire than talent, more desire than knowing any better. I just wanted to prove my parents right.
Yeah.
I was adopted when I was a baby. But through family, I was adopted through family, so that's But I didn't.
So your parents. I'm sorry. So let me clarify that. Just so you're adopted when you were a kid, and you're the person you call your father right now is related.
I was born.
Yeah.
Right, and then my birth mom gave me up to her brother.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know until I was 10 years old that was not my dad or my mom. I said, oh man, I didn't know. I found out at 10 because I had to change my name because I was going to play football. Dad, I said, what do you mean my name got changed? What do you mean? What? I'm 10 years old. And so no one really even knows that story. That's because my dad was my trainer. He was a boxer. And so I never even knew the difference. And
Yeah.
I still don't know the difference. So I
Yeah.
just know who my parents are. Those were my parents. Anyhow, that's why I had so much shame because they did that for me and I did this to them.
Oh
So I
wow.
said, I gotta change. I gotta change my life, man. I gotta turn everything around. I was a good kid though.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
I had a good job. I had all that. I wasn't. I just
Yeah.
got in trouble doing something dumb and with a friend, and I changed it. I tuned. I started. As soon as I got home after I got that job, I go and bought a bag, hung it in the garage. I
Yeah.
told my dad I'm gonna get in shape. My dad would come in every once in a while. He would come in and just because he didn't want his boxing.
Yeah.
The man looked in the garage and he said, "No, why don't you keep your hand up a little higher?" Well, and I walked back inside. Next 2 days later, come back out. Why don't you move your feet this way, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he probably saw something, right?
Sure. Of course.
And then he probably saw something. Then after I goes, hey, if you're gonna do this right, let's go to the gym and see how
Yeah.
we do from there. He had to have seen something. So
Yeah.
I go to the gym, and 2 years later, I'm in the Olympic trials.
Now that is an incredible story. Anyone
It's,
who's never boxed before,
but it was desire. I'm telling you, it was desire to want to be better.
but it had to have been. I mean, obviously the skills, like what he taught you real fighter stuff. So
Yes.
you
Yeah.
got right to it. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
moved your hands well.
Great coach. He had great coach.
Yeah, and so for when did the nickname Jesse James Leija? Now Jesse is a nickname, right?
Jesse's the nickname. James Leija
Okay.
is the real name. Well,
So when you were an amateur, you didn't have that name,
no, I
or
didn't have that name. It was just James Leija. But when I turned pro, my manager thought that adding Jesse in front of James would just sound
yeah,
better. Jesse James from Texas, the
yeah,
gunslinger.
yeah, yeah,
But for me, I was like, heck yeah, I want to do. I'm going to honor my dad. My
yeah,
dad's Jesse. My dad's Jesse, and I said I want to honor my dad. So
yeah.
yeah, let's do it.
Oh,
And
sweet.
it's been that way ever since.
Yeah, it just all worked out. That's
Yeah.
funny because I think about some people because like you didn't come in with like the chaps and the cowboy thing. You didn't do all that. Hector Camacho would have went crazy on that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't, but we had gunslingers coming behind us.
Ah,
You
okay.
ever watch my entry with Zuma Nelson?
I saw the guy in red.
Those cowboy guys are
Yeah, yeah,
real guns, blanks, bright, but real guns,
yeah.
so loud. And this
Really?
that guy that was coming in with the guns, his name was Jack Glover.
Yeah.
He owned it. He owned the Alamo Museum here in town
Uh-huh.
for the Alamo, right? He
Oh
owned it.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
so he
yeah.
was all connected. And a crazy story from him is that he was like 81 years old, 78 years old when he was
Yeah.
doing like those guns
Yeah.
with his sons. But he said his great grandmother was medicine woman to Geronimo,
Wow.
and that's
Yeah.
and so he loved it. He was Indian. He was all that.
Uh-huh.
So he would when I would fight, he would put a feather. When I was getting my hands wrapped, he put a feather in my eagle
Really?
feather in my
Yeah, yeah,
hands. Wrap
yeah,
my hands. He said that would give you the power and the speed of
yeah.
an eagle. And I was like, whoa,
Wow.
guys.
That
He
must
passed
have
away.
felt good.
He
Yeah,
passed away about 10 years ago, but what a great guy.
that's a beautiful vibe going in. That's that kind of
Yeah,
energy you need. It
yeah.
helps you take it in. Speaking of Hector for a second, now you fought his son. I'm jumping around here. I'm sorry.
I do that too.
It's like I have a very short attention span. I'm here and there like a gnat. But yeah, I remember watching you fight him on TV, and I know you were beating him, and then something controversial happened. He complained about something, and then it was stopped in a corner. Like what
Well,
happened?
we had a well first we had it was a great fight. He's a good fighter, fast, moves
Yeah,
well, strong
yeah,
left hand,
yeah,
lefty. He's one of those lefties. But in the first round, first or second round, I caught him with the hook, and he almost dropped, and he
yeah,
get back up, and we kept fighting. The bell rang.
yep.
Then I got cut early on. He cut me with a big cut, or I always get cut. I had if I didn't get cut during the fight, something was wrong. He cut me. He gave it the punch, and my eye was split all the way across, just
Okay.
across. Kept
Yeah.
fighting, and then in the fourth round, we clinched. He was gonna throw a left hand, I was gonna throw a right hand or whatever, and
Yeah.
he leaned in too much, and his eye hit my head.
Yeah.
Small cut, but
Yeah.
he panicked,
Yes.
and I think he got some advice from his cornerman, thinking that he was ahead on the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't fight, and he panicked all that stuff together. So he didn't fight. To call the fight in favor of him, and I was winning the fight, but
Yeah.
he got the favor of the fight, so he wins the fight. We protest, and they called it a no contest because they said that the bell rang for the 6th round and it shouldn't have not rang because the doctor was still looking at his cut, whatever it was. But my career went, his career went.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Well,
was it.
definitely, yeah. I mean that was definitely a look at a fighter's heart, right? When you see
Yeah.
things like that. Like,
Yeah.
what did you feel? Did you must have felt something in the corner, like at that time when it happens? Do you remember when they made that decision and you were like, "What?"
I was like, come on, man, I get cut every fight. We
Yeah,
gotta keep fighting, and I think he panicked. That's not. He's a fighter. I mean, he panicked, but I think his corner should have made him fight. Even if he would have lost, he would have came out on top.
yeah,
He would have gone. He would have been a warrior. But him stopping because they told him, no, no, don't fight, don't fight. He gets out, and then his career is over with. And I think he regrets that move, or they regret that move.
yeah, yeah.
He was
No,
a good fighter, though. He was a good, great fighter.
yeah, he had a lot of talent coming up, but when I saw him against you, like you negated all that stuff. I thought
Yeah.
it was a beautiful fight for you, and
It
you're
was a tough fight for me because it's a left. You know, left. I mean,
yeah.
it's just awkward. You can't get used to those guys.
Now let me ask you something, because you don't have a mean streak in you. It doesn't. You're obviously competitive, but don't seem to have that like cutthroat personality, right?
I'm a nice guy.
Does that help you? Does that help you or hurt you in the ring? You know what I mean? Like, do you think you could have? You think you could have benefited from more of like that savage approach? Like you see a lot of guys, they're just they are that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so, man. I think you gotta be cool, calm, and collective inside the ring, man.
Mm-hmm.
You get mad. Mike Tyson said, if you get mad, you
Yeah.
get hit a lot. You're not staying inside your comfort zone. You gotta be relaxed. Everybody's gotta be relaxed. Every sport, you're relaxed. You don't press it. You don't stress it. You stay calm and cool and collective. You know.
Yeah. But what about like
Yeah,
when you?
but I do have a mean streak, man. If you mess around with anyone in my family or any of my kids or my
Yeah,
wife,
yeah,
man, I am fired up and I'll fight anybody if they just
yeah,
ask me to. But
yeah,
I always say, okay, man, they're
yeah.
not paying the bills. They're not paying the bills. Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you another way off to the other side.
Yeah.
Because I get into, I love the aggressive part of boxing, but everyone has their rituals as well. So what, when you did road work, when you were preparing for a fight, did a certain song reverberate through your head? Was there a song at that time that kind of, what got you hyped going into a fight? Can you remember?
Towards the end, like of my career, at the beginning of my career, I was just want to get everything. Here's the inexperienced part too, though, right? Where we talk at the beginning of my career, I'm young, I'm fired, I want to rock, AC/DC, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. Man, at the end of my career, when I'm running, I wanted Lenny Kravitz, slow Lenny Kravitz. I wanted, I can't think of the guy's name right now, but just the wallflowers.
Oh yeah, the wallflowers, yes.
Just cool music, calm me, because you know what? Tell people now, a calm mind is a calm body.
Yeah.
Racing mind, racing body. You don't want to do all that stress out.
Yeah.
Gym now where I have people want to play that fast music. This all day long with some fast. I want calm music. This is where you can relax, think, react. Because the more calm you are, the faster you react, the faster you can punch, the faster you can get out of the way because you're not stressed. It's just yin and yang, bro.
But there's a reason why they take like they want like the 18, 19, 20-year-old kids in the armed services, because there's that no fear thing. They're all full of energy and like they have this adrenaline surge that seems endless. But as you start to get older, you get a little bit wiser, right? You kind of go, well, they say, go over there and attack those people. And if you're older, you're like, oh, well, wait a minute. They're not attacking us. You want to talk?
If you're older, you send the younger ones in, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, can we just talk about it? We don't have to do this. But the younger ones are head first in there.
Yeah.
So you have this, now looking at your record, you had, like, I look at you and you're a good puncher. Like if you hit somebody, you hurt them.
I wasn't a hard puncher. I only had 17, 18 knockouts.
That's the thing that I'm kind of like looking at right now. And I'm like, but fighters respected you when you hit them. Now, do you think that's because you weren't as an efficient finisher because you'd hit somebody and they would get buzzed. You know they got buzzed.
Yeah.
You know they're like 2 or 3 punches from like dropping or something or
Yeah.
hurting. Do you think it was the fact that because you didn't have that many amateur fights, your ability to be able to finish an opponent that may be buzzed that is the reason why you weren't didn't have as good a KO record as you have?
No, no, it's a great question, but I don't think so because when I was fighting 125, 130 pounds, I was knocking everybody out.
Yeah.
I was winning all my fights. Then I went up to 135, 140, and it was
Mhm.
tougher to knock guys out.
It's getting bigger.
I'm a small, big guy.
Yeah.
I was a 10-pound baby when I was born.
Yeah. Wow.
I have a size 9.5 foot, 10 foot.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
hands are huge.
Yeah.
Big hands.
Yeah.
I'm just a small, big guy.
Yeah.
Right now I'm like, I don't know if you ever saw my Instagram. Like I work, I diet all the time, but I eat right and I train
Yeah.
a lot of people. I don't work out really, but
Yeah.
I'm ripped. I have a lot of
Yeah.
muscle, big arms,
Yeah.
and I'm just a small, big guy. But
Yeah.
so I always kill myself to make 125, kill myself to make 130, kill myself to make 135, kill myself to make 140. Now at the same time, we didn't have the science that they have now, like
Mhm.
drink a gallon of water, eat
Mhm.
5 times a day or
Yeah.
6 times a day. We didn't have that. I was drinking 1 glass of water. I was
Yeah.
eating once or twice a day. That was
Yeah.
just killing me. It was so hard to make weight.
Yeah.
Not towards the end of my career when we got that weight thing done, it was
Yeah.
a little bit easier for me.
Easier. Yeah.
I'm always
But
fighting bigger guys. I was always fighting bigger guys.
yeah. Yeah. I noticed that. Like most of the guys you fought, I mean, look, they always looked like bigger there, but I didn't know if maybe you carried more of the weight in your legs or not. But
No.
it's what made you? I know it's like going up into like I've fought middleweight like my whole professional
Okay.
career, and
Okay.
and I actually fought heavier than I should have. I was really like a junior middleweight.
Mhm.
But what made you creep up in terms of weight? Like it wasn't because you had junior welterweight. That's a difficult. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's a difficult go. I mean,
Well,
you're fighting bigger guys like Arturo
I'm
Gotti.
I'm
And
5'5", yeah.
yeah. I mean, these guys are naturally like 5'9", 5'10",
Yeah.
and they're thick too. Like they're
Yeah.
heavy and heavy punchers. Like they be hitting middleweights, and middleweights would know it too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you're fighting these guys, and even Azuma's thick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, what else was I gonna do? I couldn't get my weight down. I had to go up and
Yeah.
I was getting older and I was 38 when I retired, but I was, I was depending on my defense. But one thing that we always said is I dared to be a great fighter. I wanted to be a great fighter,
Yeah.
and I had to face everybody. And
All right.
only time I've never lost a non-world title fight. The only fights I lost were world title fights,
It's amazing.
except I lost a fight to Juan Lascano.
Hmm.
It was on Showtime. Thank God it was on Showtime.
Yeah.
Showtime online voting had me winning 10-0.
Wow.
We gave him the fight.
They gave him the
The
fight.
only fight that I did not win a decision. I won the fight, lost the decision, but that was the only one that they really got me. But other than that, it was only world title fights to Azuma, Oscar,
Yeah.
Shane Mosley,
Yeah.
Gotti,
Yeah.
Kasazu, those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
All,
Yeah. Yeah.
all Hall of Famers probably.
Yeah. All of them Hall of Famers. Absolutely. What fighters did you idolize growing up?
Marvin Hagler, Joe
I was,
Lewis.
I was going to say Marvin Hagler because I know when you got in the corner and you'd hit
Yeah,
yourself on the head, right?
Yeah, I got that from Marvin, right? And I got that from Marvin. But Muhammad Ali, of course,
Yes.
Danilo Red Lopez.
Oh yeah.
So just guys, there's so many guys that you look up, but
Yeah.
mainly my dad. I looked up my dad as this guy was good. My
Yeah.
dad, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, was the first San Antonian to
Mhm.
ever make it to the National Golden Gloves Finals in Chicago in 1958. The
That's
first
amazing.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fighters here in town, but
Yeah.
he was the first one to make it that far.
That's
So he was my, always my hero, my dad.
yeah.
Fighters that I saw, with what's his name, Alexia Aguayo. What a class!
Yeah.
Again, I got to meet all these guys that I just
Yeah.
mentioned. except Joe Louis and those guys. But
Yeah.
these guys that I mentioned, I got to meet Larry Holmes.
Yeah.
Got with Muhammad Ali in his hotel room with him and his wife for
Yeah.
an hour. Just
Yeah. Isn't it amazing?
here's a guy who never fought and said who was not even a fighter who started fighting at the age of 19 years old.
Yeah.
Gets to hang out with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. It's insane.
Changed my life. It was 2005. Changed my life.
Wow.
Changed my life.
You know, I remember when being in Vegas, and Ali and Lonnie, his wife, were in Vegas, and Bundini Brown came out the elevator, and he started talking to me. And Bundini's always giving you the story,
Yeah.
and he's always trying to like weasel his way in so he could like become a part of your crew and be, and get paid, of course.
Yeah.
But he said, he goes, hey champ, you want to meet Ali? And I was like, what? Yes, and he brought me up to the room and opened the door, and there's Ali and Lonnie and everything. We had a conversation. We got the picture. My little brother in there, my dad too. It was a good time. It was really honest. It was beautiful.
I mean, he was just an amazing man, and I told him too. I was glad I was able to tell him that.
Yeah,
I admire you more for everything you did outside the ring than inside the ring. Even inside the ring is great, but outside the ring, no one can touch that.
Yeah, 100%, Jesse.
Yeah.
We're working on a play right now. It's actually coming to Broadway. It's going to be on Broadway in 2024. It's going to be huge. It's called Ali the Musical. Mm-hmm. And so they've finally cast the Ali character, and we're casting all the other characters now. And we've been working on it. We went down to the Ali Center in Louisville, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And man, we went into the Ali Center, into his museum, and I got lost. I'm telling you, I was there for like 2 hours just wandering around. He closed the place, and I was still walking around. The security guy was like, "Yeah, we got to go."
Yeah,
I was like, "Okay."
One day, I'm gonna head out there and check.
Yeah, you will. Oh, without a doubt, it's gorgeous. You have to. You really do. If you were to pick 3 fighters that influenced your style, who would they be?
Marvin Hagler. Mm-hmm. I like to say some other fighters but I'm not that type of fighter. But the technique part of it, Chavez for sure. Julio Chavez, right?
Yeah.
And I have to say this guy because I used to watch him fight, and I got to tell him this a few on Instagram or on Facebook. We talked, but we haven't met him yet. We said, man, we got to meet one day with Boom Boom Mancini.
Yeah. Boom Boom had that heart too.
Those guys fought, man.
I
fought something like that, I think. But at times, and there's times I say, okay, I got to be smart of this. But Marvin, and plus my dad, of course. But these guys that people would know is, I think Hagler, Boom Mancini, and who was the other guy? Said it was not Alexis Aguero.
Alexis Aguero, yeah. Alexis
really good body. If I had that type of body, I think Jorge Linares is one of the best fighters ever.
Yeah,
Jorge Linares.
Oh yeah, okay. I've seen him. Yes.
I think he's gonna fight again, but he's towards the end of his career. But man, that guy could fight, man. What a clean boxer. What a clean. That's people want to see snugging. People want to see car wrecks and guys go. That's not boxing.
Yeah.
That's slugging. Boxing is the crafty art, making guys making them miss and get countered. Yeah. That's the art, not slugging. Anyone could do that.
Yeah, like I'd watch Arguello for hours, and he's just like his lines were just so clean and perfect. Yeah. And when he punched, every single punch was designed to go through you, not to you, through you. And that was like, I mean, it was insane. His knockouts looked so, like the endings of his fights were so clean and decisive. There's no. You know what I mean? When he wins, he wins. There's no like, oh, he could have got up or he was fine. No, it was over.
You know that guy Don Khan? He trained Alexis Aguero. Don Khan. He was Alexis Aguero's trainer. He came and trained me for a few fights too.
Oh
and
man.
He had me for when I won the world title against. But that was my main trainer. But Don Khan was assisting.
Yes.
And he trained Alexis for many, many, many years.
Yeah.
So we picked up a lot. We picked up a lot from that era.
You were also with Emmanuel Stewart, or he was in your corner.
I was made for that one fight with the Zuma Nelson. It was
okay. And why did you bring him in?
Well, my manager figured that since Azuma Nelson was such a big name that we had to have, we were nobodies, right? We were nobodies. We were just from San Antonio, and we had to have a presence in our corner as well, so we don't get screwed out of the scorecards, you know. So we had to
Yeah.
have a president. There's Emmanuel Stewart, like, come on, he's Mr. Boxing, and makes us
I
look
see.
like
Yeah,
we're legit too. Don't overrun me because you don't know anyone in the
yeah,
corner.
yeah. I totally, absolutely get it. And the first fight you guys had was a draw, but it was kind of dubious.
You know what? It was a draw, but I could see where I protected the last 3 rounds or the last 2 rounds. I was trying to protect the win, and
Yeah,
you that,
yeah,
you know, so I
yeah,
could see that happening. The
yeah,
second fight the second fight I did nothing different but what I did in the first round and won just about every round.
yeah.
So,
I see what you're saying.
and then
Yeah,
the second time,
it's crazy. Yeah, sometimes when you try to nurse it, because De La Hoya tried to do that against Trinidad, and even though, like, if you look at the fight, you say
he
De
was
La
one
Hoya won, but he nursed that last nine,
last 2 3
from the
rounds, yeah.
nine to the 12. And who else did it recently too? Lomachenko did that in his last
Oh
fight.
yeah,
Nursed the last couple of rounds, and you
yeah,
can't do that.
yeah,
Some judges just don't take contact. You give someone an excuse to take the fight away.
yeah. Or he's not fighting, or he must be hurt, or he don't want to get in.
Yeah, exactly. People want to see you fight. That's I learned that the hard way too. What's the most brilliant moment you had in the ring? Like when you felt like King Kong, like Tyson could have gotten in the ring with you, and you thought you'd win anyway.
A lot of fights. There was some fights, of course, you know, people don't see it, whatever, that you just feel great. But
Yeah,
so I fought Luis Espinosa.
yeah,
The
yeah.
3-time world champion. I fought him like in my 24th fight. It
Mhm.
was a grueling fight. Every time he hit me, I was getting cut. It was just like every time he hit me, I would do a cut. I cut easy, but um, I felt great for that fight. It was a tough fight, but the fight that just where I was in the zone and everything was in slow motion was the Zuma Nelson second fight.
That's the one, right?
I saw everything happening. I
Yeah,
was making a mess. I was
yeah,
having a great time in the ring. I couldn't be
yeah.
stopped. I couldn't be stopped.
Isn't it amazing how we all, like, when we have that moment, it's like that moment is your opponent is in slow motion and you're
Yeah,
just moving at your natural speed.
yeah. I saw him making moves before he made them.
Yeah,
You know, I saw the head coming, he hadn't even thrown it, and I said,
yeah,
"Okay, here he comes." Just you see, you're so in the zone. You see
yeah.
everything. You
And
see it.
did you know that going into the fight? Did you feel noticeably different?
No, not at all.
No.
It happened during the fight.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I'm making this guy misses. Oh,
yeah,
they're like, oh man, he almost caught me with that one. Oh,
yeah.
man, I'm glad I blocked that one, man. You're thinking that you're that much in control. You're thinking that there's fights. I'm serious, man. I would be in fights and I'm
Yeah,
humming to myself because I knew I got some good things. I knew that the more calm you are, the easier it is to slip punches and
mhm,
relax. That's what I'm saying about being relaxed. And
yeah,
the reason I'm saying that now is because we talked about earlier about which guy is the better guy, the one that has that mean in him. And no, the guy that's the guy that it's called mental toughness. And I've studied this. So how many times in every sport, baseball, football, basketball, whatever it is, they always say, man, it's 70% mental, 30% physical,
yeah,
50% mental. And then I tell people, well, how much mental do you practice? They'll look at me like, what are you talking
yeah,
about? So,
yeah,
well, if it's that much, you should be practicing, right?
yeah,
People don't know it, but
yeah,
there's a way of thinking mental. So, of being mentally sound, mentally calm, mental toughness, all that comes into play, but you have to practice it.
yeah.
We know that negative thought that comes into your head is so strong that overcome a positive thought.
Mhm.
So every time I would get a negative thought, I would overcome it with 10 positive thoughts. Like, man, I hope Azuma Nelson don't hit me with the body. And I said, he's not going to hit me to the body because
Yeah,
I'm running, I'm doing my abs, I'm blocking, I'm doing 10
yeah,
positive thoughts
yeah,
to overcome
yeah,
that negative thought. And I did that throughout my whole career. Only when my dad's best friend gave me a book.
yeah,
We were playing golf. He was teaching me how to play golf.
yeah.
And he said, hey, James, I want to give you a book because I think it would help you in your career. And I said, oh, cool, thanks. I get the
Mhm.
book, put it in my golf bag, and I said, okay, I'll read it later. Next time he came out a week later, he goes, hey, have you read that book? I said, oh, Tomas, I haven't read it yet. He introduced my parents to each other, so he was real good with us. And
Yeah,
I said, oh, man, I haven't read it. And I'm at home. I said, God dang it, we're going to go play golf again. Let me start reading that again, right? I
uh-huh.
couldn't put the book down. This was in 1988. I couldn't put the book down. It changed my life. as my thinking, as how I am as a person, how I am as a fighter, how I
Yeah.
am as a husband, how I am as
Say say the name of that book again.
I'm sorry.
Say the name of that book again.
Oh, The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale.
Oh, okay, I have heard.
That was the book, and it changed everything about me. So
Yeah.
from that, even so, right after that happened, I read so much of it that when everybody would say something, I said, "No, you got to be positive. No, you got." I was getting everybody sick. They were sick of me already. Like that's enough with the positiveness, you know. But I took it into my whole career. I took it into my marriage. I took it into everything. And I read
Yeah.
other books about mental toughness,
Yeah.
uh, the art of war,
Yes.
these books about strategies and how do you get the better of yourself
Yeah.
and it changed everything. It's
Yeah.
who I am. It's who I am today as a person.
Mhm.
Is that
Mhm.
you could tell me all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
and okay, well, whatever. I know what I could do.
Yeah.
I play basketball with guys. I'm 5'5.5". I play basketball with guys
Yeah.
6 foot 6'2". I'm banging with them, hitting them,
Yeah.
running.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I know I could. I know I could do well. And plus, I know how to fight. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That mental toughness. You ain't gonna bang.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I told Tim Duncan. I was saying Tim Duncan. I said, he goes, "Oh man, I think it'll be." I said, "Man, you may beat me. You guys, you're 260 pounds.
Yeah.
Whatever. You may beat me, but you're not gonna like it. I'm gonna bite an ear off. I'm gonna bite your nose off. I'll
Yeah.
bite. I don't care. I'm gonna.
Exactly.
You're gonna know you're gonna fight with me." He starts laughing.
People think you're a boxer. You only use these when you fight. It's like,
Yeah,
wow,
it's a
dude.
street fight. Yeah, you do whatever.
You
Um,
gotta do what you gotta do.
but that's how I am, though. That's how I am as a person. People say you can't do it. Watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll die trying. I don't care. I'm gonna give everything I have. But I have a successful business. My boys and I do, and we have I have a great name here in San Antonio, man. I
Yeah.
could call the mayor. I could call anybody. I used to hang out with
Yeah.
President Bush. President
Yeah.
Bush used to call me, send me Christmas cards every year.
Nice.
Just things, man. I
Yeah.
hanging out with George Lopez and
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
athletes and stuff.
You know what's beautiful? It's like you have such an incredible, like we get so many sad stories in boxing. Like when fighters are finished, you know what I mean? Like life is finished for them.
Yeah,
And I'm listening to your story here, and it's so ebullient, man. It's so beautiful. It's filled with positive energy. You've got all your faculties, the physicality. Well, let me ask you, are there any residual effects from boxing, like any bad things that you can, you know what I mean? Like, do you have memory issues? Do you have eye issues,
what,
ear issues?
what are we talking about?
Do you have any?
I'm messing with you. I'm
Yeah,
messing with you.
that was good.
No, man. I mean, they always say after you retire, about 10 years, give it 10 years, something may
Yeah,
happen. So I
yeah,
already had 10 years, but I'm still fine. My memory's good. I don't. I still have aches and pains every once in a while. Bad elbow from boxing all those
yeah,
years.
yeah. You
Um,
expect that.
just things like that. But I can still run. I can still play basketball every day. I can
Yeah,
still hold mitts every day for people.
yeah,
I'm still in it. I'm 57 years old. My
yeah,
body looks like I
yeah.
probably about
Yeah,
15.
no, I saw you, man. I saw you, but you look great. I was like, just the other day, I was like, what?
And I diet well. I don't even work out really because I'm too busy training clients. But I
Yeah,
do play basketball. But I don't work out like with weight. I don't
hmm,
do abs at all. I'm
yeah, yeah.
just training clients. But
Yeah, got it.
I think you know, I could hear my speech at times where I slur some words. I know that I can hear it every once in a while. I always
Mhm.
try to pronounce words clearer when I'm talking to people. But if I'm in a hurry and talking, I just talk fast, But um, just there's things. I'm sure there has to be. I had so many fights and so many wars, 57 fights. That's a lot of
Yeah,
fights.
that's a lot of
Almost,
fights.
almost 100 fights with the amateur fights I had.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
mean,
you think about that, but brother, don't even forget the sparring. Like the sparring's
sparring.
crazy every single day. You know what I mean?
So I had a podcast with Tony the Tiger Lopez yesterday.
Yeah,
Great podcast, but we
yeah,
talked about the fight's the easy day. The fight's the easy.
yeah,
It's 36
yeah,
minutes or
yeah,
30 minutes, right?
yeah,
Easy.
yeah, yeah.
I would spar 100 to 140 rounds of sparring for one fight.
Right? It's
I said that's where
crazy.
we get beat up.
Yeah,
That's where we get hurt. That's where we talked about Errol Spence and about something happened there with Errol
yeah,
Spence.
yeah,
Something was,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not in the fight. It's in the training where you get beat up. The fight's just
Absolutely
one
right.
night.
Yeah, coming off that Spence Crawford fight, before we went into the fight, I just thought to myself, no, I mean, listen, Crawford's amazing. He's an incredible fighter, and I would have picked him whether Spence had the car accident or not. But I have to say, nobody gets thrown out of a car at over 100 miles an hour, lands on their head and face, and gets their teeth knocked out, and you're not normal afterwards. Just like it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's impossible.
And you only had 4 fights since the car accident. No, 2 fights since the car accident. This
Yeah,
is two
yeah,
fights?
yeah, yeah. And yeah, it wasn't going to get
He
better.
had 4 fights in 4 years.
Yeah.
This is the second since the car accident.
Yeah, and it certainly wasn't going to get better because something like that is insidious. It doesn't all of a sudden disappear. I mean, that's going to stay with you forever. And you look at the first shot he got knocked down with. I mean, you know as well as I do, that was like he was off balance. I mean, he may have had
He stepped on his first one, yeah.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like what did he throw? He threw it was like a jab, but
it was a jab,
yeah, it was a jab, and it's only because like
he was even though it tripped him or stepped on his foot, whatever it was, he was hurt from it.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, he didn't argue at all. Whatever happened, he didn't argue with the ref and say it wasn't a knockdown. He stepped on my foot.
How did he look coming into the ring though?
Mm-hmm.
He had those big wide eyes. He looked like he was in a glaze. And I'm like, oh, something's not right. Walking into the ring, you could tell something was not right.
Yeah.
And I've met him. Great guy.
Yeah. They both are. They really are.
They both are. But man, there's something wrong. And I hope. I saw yesterday. I read yesterday where he wanted to have the rematch clause. He was going to accept the rematch clause. I said, come on. Someone, you know.
Someone has to step in on that. Really. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying he got like at least 25 million from this fight. That's retirement money. I mean, God, I wish I ever got paid something like that.
What's our fine today, right?
25th for that. Yeah. It was crazy.
Michael?
I had 34 altogether.
Okay.
Yeah, 34. Yes.
You had a lot of amateur fights, right?
I didn't. No, I only had. I'm like you. I had like in the 20s.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I had like about. But I fought a lot of good guys. Like I fought guys that went to the the Olympics, and you know, I started like my dad threw me in deep real early. So I had to learn to swim. You know, you get thrown in that deep end real quick, you sink or swim, and that's kind of what we did.
Yeah.
So you know, it helped. But on the other side of things, it's like if you don't get a chance to learn the technicalities of boxing, well, you know, more than even the technicalities, you got to learn to know yourself, and that's what I'm saying. That's what's so amazing about you getting to winning a world title with that short of an amateur career is really it's exceptional because as a fighter, you go through you need that pedigree. You need a strong pedigree. You need to confirm your style, and you need to know yourself. And you need to know how you react when pressure's on you. You need to see different styles of fighters every single time. And the more you're exposed to that, when you're in the pros, you're like, okay, I've seen that already. I know what to do with it. But you didn't get exposed to all that. Like in 28 fights, at least, you didn't get a chance to process it. And so for you to get into a place where now you're fighting men and from all over the world and you're beating them, man, that's mind blowing. That really is.
One of the things I had too was a quick learner, I guess. But I always tell people, man, people would tell me, man, you're so lucky, man. You got this. Heck yeah, man. The harder I work, the luckier I get somehow.
Yeah, great work ethic really helps, right?
That's what it was. But I would train and with Pernell Whitaker, I would spar with him a lot. I learned so much from him. These guys and with just anybody with the main events, I would spar with them all the time. I had Ronnie Shields was training me as well.
Nice.
Just learned a lot, but
I
had to absorb everything, you know.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you something. On the other side of it, can you remember what's the most, and you kind of touched on it already, but what's the most self-destructive thing you've ever done before a fight? Not before you started boxing, before a fight. Yeah. Can you remember? Has there been anything like that?
Yeah, man, I was.
Yeah, you're really like that saint.
Strong, man. I didn't let anything distract me or.
Yeah.
You know, probably if anything, it was like people trying to buy a lot of tickets and me trying to handle ticket sales Yeah,
Like,
for now, let those people, let your family do it. Someone else do it. You can't be doing that type of stuff. But trying to,
all
trying
right.
to please people or whatever, trying to
Yeah.
get that
Yeah.
that's self-destruct before a fight. But
It's
I don't
yours.
know. I
Yeah.
wouldn't go out or drink. I wouldn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
would
that's
I would
great.
drink. I would drink like after the fight for about 1 or 2 weeks. Man, check this out. I would if I had a big fight on Friday or Saturday, I would either be back on the gym Monday or Tuesday.
Yes.
On the same this 3 days later.
Yeah.
Every fight.
Yeah.
But if I had a big fight like Friday or Saturday
Yeah.
in a 12 round fight with a Zuma Nelson or
Yeah.
anybody, right? Any big fight, I was back the following Friday.
Wow.
I always went back to the gym on Friday. People say, "Why do you come back on a Friday?" I come back on a Friday. I come back any night
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because I make sure I came back. Because who's on wants to go? You going out? You're gonna have out fun. You do. You have the weekend. No, I make sure I came back Friday and Saturday. That way, I could get in my head. I could do any day.
Hmm. That's beautiful.
It had to be a Monday. It could be any day. It's a work day.
Yeah.
Still do
Well,
that. Even now, I
yeah.
don't leave the gym. I'm always at gym. They call me a
Yeah.
workaholic. I'm
Yeah.
always training. I train between 40 and 50 people a week.
Wow.
And I'm doing mitts with them. I'm hanging out with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
with them. I get them in shape. Whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
I have great clients. They're all
Yeah.
businessmen and businesswomen, of course, right? And
Yeah.
some athletes,
Mhm.
of course, but I got about 40 to 50 people a week that I train
That's amazing.
continuously, and just boom.
That's greatness.
I can't go if I leave. If I leave town, they're calling me. When are you coming back? When are you coming back? So I've been, just recently we've been traveling a lot, and so I get
Uh-huh.
my sons to take care of my clients, but they love it. People love the workout.
So you love boxing still, no matter what. It.
It's life.
Yeah.
How can you not love it? It's life,
Yeah.
man. I
Yeah.
love life, and I love the ups and downs of being in life. Sometimes you have bad days. Sometimes you have good days.
Yeah.
People say, "How's your day?" I say, "Man, any day
Yeah.
above ground is a great
It's
day."
a great day. Absolutely.
I'm gonna work, man. I'm gonna work hard. I want to stay above ground every day. But it, yeah, I I think, man, there's this book about being positive and looking at the bright side, and
Yes.
uh, the glass is always half full for me, man. Every
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
glass
Well,
is half
people feed off your energy and they want to do more for you, right? So, like, naturally, I can see when people come to you and they train with you, they have their limitations, but they'll go that extra thing for you because you have this
full.
natural
Yeah, yeah.
gravitational pull
I
towards
have.
it.
I mean, it's the thing of you get the best out of yourself today, man. I got a guy who's a member of my gym. He's a member, and he does privates with us too. He's 81 years old or
Mhm.
82. He does everything. He spars. He jump ropes. He push ups, pull ups. He does everything the class is doing.
Nice.
Everyone looks at him like a god. We call him. He's like a god. Uh,
Yeah.
but I also have a lady who's 78 years old who has Parkinson's. Her husband was a CEO of Coca Cola.
Wow.
He passed away, and she comes to my gym, Parkinson's, and she does everything, man. She comes
Amazing.
in,
So
she
beautiful.
has a house in Paris. She goes, anytime you want to go to my house in Paris. And the last time I went, I said, no, we already got a hotel, but she wanted me to stay at her place in Paris. And she goes, next time y'all go, y'all have a place to stay. She loves boxing. She loves me. She loves the things that we're doing for her. We're
Yeah.
making it better. We do,
Yeah.
just boxing. We have her
Yeah.
dribbling basketball, have her dribbling tennis
Of
balls.
course.
And
Yeah.
she has Parkinson's, and
Yeah.
she's getting better.
There's nothing, the hand brain connection more than hand eye. Hand
Yes.
brain eye thing is so important for people
Yep.
with Parkinson's or any of those kinds of
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
Like your hands are I think probably the most important things that we have
Yeah.
going on. Like if it comes from your brain and it comes into your hands,
Your
and
brain tells your hands what to do, and your hands what to do, your brain's what to do, and your
yeah,
brain tells your feet what to do. They all gotta be in sync.
they
And the
all
way we do that is through practice. I always tell these there was a few clients with Parkinson's, but if you don't use it, even regular people, I don't care who
yes.
you are, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah,
If you don't use your core, you're gonna lose your core. If you don't
yeah,
work on your balance, you're gonna lose your balance.
yeah.
You gotta keep working at things.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about boxing, right? Boxing offers that, like, you use everything. I don't know quite how to say it because I've never said it before, but like everything you use in your real life and moving, like
Yeah.
you also use it's a skill in boxing.
Yeah.
Everything you don't do it like, I guess, in, let's say, in dancing, for instance, you move in a way that with your legs, or cycling, for instance, use your legs and use it in a way that isn't your natural way of it.
Yeah.
It's not an everyday life kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
thing that we're doing. But in boxing, the drills, even just the reaching forward or the reactions or the you know what I mean, your reflexes in everyday life is the same as in boxing.
Your
Like your
body,
feet get you from here to there, but your hands have got to do most everything.
boxing,
Right?
to be a good boxer, you got to be in sync and keep your balance, move
Yeah.
a certain way, and keep your feet under you. That's
Yes.
like, when you're walking down the street, you trip over the thing, you got to keep your balance.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
someone is coming after you, a burr or whatever, you got to shoo it away.
Yeah.
Quick
It's
hand
reflex.
reflexes, hand-eye coordination,
Yeah.
just stuff
Yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
it's life. It's
And
life.
it really is. It really is. And your core, more importantly, I believe everything, like,
Yeah.
it all starts here at the core and it radiates outward.
Yeah.
And
I have a very strong core, man. I
yes.
don't lift weights at all. I don't lift weights at all, but
Yeah.
I have a strong core, and it helps me with a lot of things, man. I really attribute having a strong core to a lot of my success in the ring.
Yes. So everyone that's listening to this show, remember core number one. If you can get that core work down and use boxing and the core together,
Yeah.
that's the holy grail right there.
Jump rope is great.
Yes.
Rhythm, technique, movement. Jump
Yes.
rope, 9 minutes of jump was equivalent to jogging 3 miles or 2.5
Yeah.
miles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, the Cooper Institute. Let me ask you a question quickly. I want to jump back to boxing because I know we don't have too much more time, but
Okay.
I love talking to you, bro. This is great.
Thank you, man.
Boxing. Is the problem with boxing today the promoters, the managers, the trainers, the fans, or the fighters?
I would have to say E, all above.
Oh, man, you're sharp.
I'm telling you, E, all above, because we all have to take account for our little things that we do. We
Mhm.
watch Jake Paul, boxing or
Yeah.
no, a non-boxer.
Yeah.
I'm not, and I don't hate Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I am for making that money he's making.
Uh-huh.
But I
Yeah.
also blame the people watching that, calling
Yeah.
that boxing.
Uh-huh.
The same people that go and watch Jake Paul aren't the people watching Canelo.
Exactly.
Different people, and
Yeah.
so everyone, the managers are, I don't know, managers are putting their fighters to fight guys that aren't
Yeah. Yeah.
enough competition.
Uh-huh.
Everyone has, promoters are putting on these fights because they just care about the ticket sales. They don't care about how the fight comes out.
Exactly.
It's just,
Yeah.
how many blowouts do you see these guys?
Yeah.
This guy has no business in the ring with them.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s and 90s, man, you couldn't. Think about this. In the 80s and 90s, you had 2 or 3 losses, you were done as a fighter.
Yeah. Oh man, what?
You fight your way, man.
Yep.
Your
I
way.
had my second loss, and the head guy for NBC was like, "Ah, he's finished." I was like,
Now you have 10 losses, and you still be, fighting for the world title. And I don't blame. I don't hate that either, because it gives fighters a chance. But
yeah,
I think everybody has a little reason why this sport. But there's MMA too. People say, "Oh man, MMA is not that good. They don't pay as well." That's why all the MMA guys are trying to box now, because they want to make that big money.
Yeah.
I YouTubers, right? YouTubers who are doing our boxing and call themselves boxers. Come on, you're not a boxer. You can call yourself that all you want, but until you fight a real boxer, don't call yourself that. But I can't blame them for making their money. Maybe if I was now fighting right now, I'll be fighting some MMA guys and making a lot of money and getting paid for it. And say, well, like Mayweather. Check this out, like Mayweather.
Yeah.
What's he say? I'm not a fighter anymore, man. I'm just a businessman.
Yeah.
He's doing it the right way. He's fighting all these guys, making money. People are willing to pay for it. Great, but hey, he's not calling himself a fighter. He's not. He's done his thing. He's retired already.
Yeah, I really like that. His business perspective, like it doesn't agree with the fighter thing, but he's not a fighter anymore, like you're saying. So, like as a businessman, it makes absolute sense. He's making absolute most money, absolute least risk. I mean, what's better than that? And plus, he keeps his legacy untouched. I mean, he's 50-0.
Yeah.
Who's gonna? Not very many guys that can touch that.
He still trains like a fiend. He's still a madman.
Yeah, he's in incredible shape. I mean, his ability was just off the charts. No one can ever, you know what I mean? That kind of. I recently wrote an article on Rocky Marciano and Floyd, and it was that work ethic that both of them had. That kind of, and I think it must have been a healthy fear of losing as well,
Yeah.
that caused them to be able to be 50-0. They were never going to go into the ring unless they were 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know I've gone into a fight injured. I'm sure. Have you ever gone to any fights injured?
Every fight I was injured every fight. Broken elbows, broken ribs,
Right? You
broken
just gotta
nose.
shut up. You can't say anything. People don't want to hear it. They're like, come on.
You still gotta make money. You still working,
Yeah.
you still fighting, you know.
You're
Oh
doing
yeah,
it for a living.
always injured. But you know, I was also thinking that uh, about these people. I don't hate them at all, man. They're it's just a new generation, but just don't hurt us.
Yeah.
Call yourself a fighter.
Yeah.
We work too hard for
Yeah.
what we call. We're boxers. We're true
Yeah.
boxers. True fighters.
Yeah.
Don't say you're boxing.
Exactly. Well, I don't think, I think it's going to be very hard for any individuals to phase boxing out because I think fighting is just so natural to man. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's something that everyone does, and boxing reflects life. Like you know what I mean? Like the analogy is just everything's just too close. So men are always gonna fight, and they're always gonna get paid for it. Maybe it's gonna kind of like I don't know. I think a lot of people thought boxing was gonna get overtaken by MMA. I don't think that's gonna happen.
It's never going to happen. Plus, I've trained some MMA guys. We have a guy here who's in UFC. His name's CJ Rivera, a great fighter, 105 pounder. Anyway, but I've heard from his coach, they think boxing is just tougher because first, I think they're both equally tough, right? But in MMA, if you're great at a kicker, if you're a great kicker, you have a chance. If you're great at submissions, you have a chance. If you're great at striking, you have a chance, right? Boxing, you have one thing to be good at.
Yes.
You don't have those other things, right?
Yeah.
You have one. And MMA, you can get a guy, hold him down, stay in the ring, and just hold him. Get you off the rest. Boxing, you can clinch, but they break it up. You got a 3 minutes break. And there's a difference. I wouldn't want to get kicked. I don't get kicked in the leg.
No.
Those are hard things, but you get used to that type of stuff. Just like you're used to getting hit in the body with the hook or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're used to that stuff, but they're equally tough, I think.
Yes.
I just think boxing is you have to be better only at one thing.
Yes. Absolutely. 100%.
Over there, you get the MMA, you get 3 things to be good at.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Like some guys come in with a strong grappling game, some with strong kicks, some with strong legs. But it's always the guys that know how to use their hands at best ones that end up dominating.
I mean, that's why I say there's like 70% of the MMA knockouts are with the hands.
Yes.
And then submissions and kicks are last. You know.
Yep. Absolutely, 100%. I know we're cutting it close. I want to get into a couple more questions. Yes. I know if I can, but what is it about you that made you world champion?
But I talked about earlier about my dad, my parents. You know, in trouble, right?
You really think that's that one?
That was that. I think it was just me wanting to be the best and just wanted to make my parents proud.
And you obsessed on that. Like that was your obsession. Like was that you went to bed thinking about it, you woke up dreaming about
it? It wasn't a thing I thought about every day but no, it was just the pride that I have. You know, I have pride in doing, and I want to be good at whatever I do. I'm good at whatever I do. I try to be. If I'm playing basketball with my kids or playing basketball with my people I'm trying to win every single game. I never let my kids win. Now they beat me all the time. Now I don't have a chance. They beat me every game. But before on, I was like, oh, I'm gonna win every game.
Yeah. So you got that Michael Jordan effect going on. It's like Michael and you lose with nothing. When you're feeling down, what do you turn to re-energize you in everyday life? What re-energizes you?
My family. My sign is I'm a Cancer, right? The crab. And we always have our family around us, man. Always. I have my kids with me. My wife and I have been together since we were 12 years old.
Beautiful. Wow, 12 years old? What?
Yeah, first day of 8th grade. And so I'm a Cancer. We have our family around, our friends and family. I have a good net of friends that we see each other every Friday or Saturday. We hang out all the time. We call. They're at the gym. I train them or whatever. But I just love having everybody around me. That's my happiness. That's all I need.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I need. I don't need anything else. That's all I need.
Congratulations, brother. You've really hit the holy grail. Like, you
I
know
would
what
say that I'm the richest man in the world.
I
I have all the
I
money,
believe you.
but I'm
I
the
love
richest man in the world, man. I don't care who you are. I know a lot of people that have money and all that.
it. Yeah,
Sometimes I say, man, poor guy, all he has is money.
yeah.
I got everything. I got everything.
The fact that you're in a business that allows you to engage with other people and still with other energies and everything, I can see what that does for you. It keeps you healthy, keeps you
Yeah.
fit. Mentally, it keeps you sharp. So interacting with good, positive
Oh
people
yeah.
in such a good thing, like what you're doing is fitness. You're giving people like a new lease on their life, or at least extending the warranty, right?
People losing, I got people losing 100 pounds in my gym, 50 pounds, 40 pounds, 150 pounds.
Yeah,
Everybody in that, and they love it. And they
yeah,
say, sometimes I say, hey, I could only, you're doing the work. That's maybe
yeah,
I can do what you're doing. I
yeah,
tell maybe I can do what you're doing. You're going beyond whatever.
yeah,
I'll tell people, man, if I have to do this, I have to lose 10 pounds, 15 pounds for a fight. I'm
yeah,
stressed. You're trying to do 50, 40, 80, 100.
yeah,
Man, I mean, I know if I could do that. You're probably stronger than I am. I said, I
yeah,
can do that thing. Like, you're stronger than I am. I couldn't do that.
yeah.
Not, I don't think I could, but you're
Yeah.
doing it. You did it.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, you know what? That positivity, that beauty that you have burning inside yourself, you're bringing it to a lot of people. I wish you the greatest success, brother. And I thank you for taking the time. I'm sorry Ben wasn't here. I know he'd love to ask you. We'd be fighting over what question next. So
It's
I'm
good,
glad
man.
I got to hug the whole time up with
I
you.
hope to do it again, man. I hope we could do this again one time, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I
I
appreciate it.
would love it. I know there's so much more to your story. I'm sorry to only skim the surface, and I'm sorry that we have to really make this exit right now. But let's stay in touch, and I know we'll get together sometime. If I'm ever over through Texas way, El Paso, I'll definitely hit you up. But if you come to New York City, without a doubt, please.
Oh yeah, man. I would love to. I think we're gonna try to go to New York soon. We haven't been there in a few years, so we try to go there every few years. I would love to go out there and hang out, man.
Yeah, let's hang out. Let's hold mitts for one another. And first, I'll take you to a really great steak place out here.
Okay, good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
And Sam, if you ever come to San Antonio, man, the city's mine and ours.
You got it. Thank you. I appreciate you so much, brother. So for Ace Podcast Nation, we thank you very much. For Ben Dowdy, he'll be back with us next week. Thank you very much. The champion right here, Jesse James Leija. Now you know why he's so successful. I love your mindset. I love your physicality. Everything about what you're doing is right on. Much continued blessings to you. Hold on. We're going to go by now. We'll hope I stay right here.